this video is for our 2nd through 4th grade team for October week 1. And first of all, look how beautiful these carts are. We have a new prep team that is prepping your guys' carts during the week, and man, oh man, do they just look amazing. So just so you know, on Sunday morning, this is how they'll be set up. We are going to push them into the 3rd and 4th grade room during the week so they're out of the way for small groups. So this is 4th grade, 3rd grade, and 2nd grade. So you'll just have to wheel them to your small group area. And let's talk about what's on the carts. So for this month, and probably going forward, instead of just having the loose, are you stuck? Instead of just having a loose, get this child. Hey, stop being so demanding, huh? Hold on. Oh, sorry, we're picking her up. Okay. Instead of just having a loose parent cue and memory verse card, we started putting together these parent resource, folders, envelopes, whatever you want to call them. So it has a little note on here on the front for parents that tell them what we're learning about this month and what is inside of these envelopes. And then inside the envelopes, you can show them to your small group kids. There is a fall bucket list because we're learning about contentment. And then there is a little God Time devotional card for this week. And then there is also their memory verse card and their parent cue. So make sure that definitely on the first week, all of your small group kids take home one of these envelopes. But then every week that you leave, just ask kids, have you been here yet this month? Did you get one of these this month? And if they didn't, make sure they all get one. So this month our theme is more or less. The choice is yours. And our life act for the month is contentment, deciding to be okay with what you have. So this first week, our story comes from the book of Philippians, and it's about being content, and our bottom line is God can help you be okay no matter what. And our memory verse for the month is, then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against wanting to have more and more things. Life is not made up of how much a person has. Luke 12:15. Such a great verse for all of us to memorize for sure. So then going over to your leader guide, we're going to sit down on the floor. Okay. So let's see. When you are serving, super important, just remember to be here at 8:30 and 10:30 so that you can be praying for each other. You can huddle up, pray for each other, and pray for the kids that you'll be leading in your small groups. Then when kids start to roll in at 8:40 and 10:40, just as they join your circle, make sure that you know everybody's name, ask them about their week. Definitely help make any first-time students feel very welcomed and at ease. Introduce them to the other kids in your group. And then just encourage them to think of as many items as they can, that make them feel better no matter what. So maybe it's popsicles, maybe it's a warm blanket, laying on the couch, whatever it might be, and encourage them to share with the group what makes them feel better. So then for your intro activity at 9 and 11, you have a baggie on the bottom of your cart that is filled with some big Lego blocks. And what you're going to do is you're going to divide your group into 2 teams, and you're going to explain that each team will attempt to build the tallest Lego tower. And you're going to provide about 1 minute before you instruct the groups to pause, and then you're going to have them tear down the tower that they just worked really hard to build. So there's about 40 Lego blocks in each bag, so you'll split the Legos in between your 2 teams. And just tell them, get creative. You don't have to put them together like regular Legos. How are you going to build the tallest tower with what you've got in your pile? Oh, Lola just face planted. Sorry, bad mom move. Okay. So then when that activity, so then you're going to have them build, you're going to give them a minute, have them build up, and then say, okay, now I want you to tear that down. And you're going to explain to the groups that now they have to rebuild their towers, only this time they need to give 10 of their Legos over to you. So that means they're probably only going to have about 10 Legos left. And then you're going to continue to allow the groups to build and tear down the towers, and you're going to have them hand over maybe not 10 more Legos each round, but say, okay, now I want you to give me 2 more. Now I want you to give me 2 more. And you're going to say, guys, your towers look a little bit different than the first time around, don't they? And it was harder and harder each time because you had fewer and fewer Legos to work with. But in the end, your brains got even more creative. Well, today in large group, we're going to talk about how being okay even when crazy things happen in life. So then you'll head across the hall to large group. Just like always, make sure you sit with your small group and help them to worship and listen to the story. Then when you get back to your room, you're going to do a review activity called No Matter What. So you've got these activity pages on the bottom of your cart. You'll just need these and the markers. And what you're going to do is you're going to give each kid an activity page and a marker, and you're going to have them identify what looks wrong in the pictures. So you're just going to say, so guys, what are some things that are wrong with this picture? And then give them some time to search and circle the things that are wrong. And then encourage them to fix their pictures by either drawing or writing what would make those pictures better. And give them a chance to share what they're fixing. And ask them, guys, what's something that makes you feel disappointed when it happens? So in the picture, the guy lets go of his dog, the bike gets a flat tire, her ice cream cone falls off, this little girl, oh, sorry, Lola, is left out of the group. Let's see, their TV, she's turning off his video game, he gets a bad grade on his test, so lots of things that they could fix in that picture. And you're just going to close this activity down by saying, so guys, when everything is picture perfect, it's really easy to be content. It's easy to put a smile on because everything is okay. But when we look around and notice that things are missing or maybe everything isn't perfect, it can be hard to trust that everything will be okay in the end. Hey, Wally, I'll be finished in just a second. Thankfully, we have a God that we can trust and depend on. And just remember that God can help you to be okay no matter what. He might not always work things out the way we want him to or fix our picture to look exactly the way that we are thinking, but he can help us be okay with whatever happens, and that's pretty awesome. So then for the memory verse activity, you're going to help kids find Luke 12:15 in their Bibles. Here's a little tip on how to do that. And then you're going to have them practice the verse together as a group several times. You can show them their memory verse card that's in their parent take-home envelope. And then what you're going to have them do is write out the verse at the bottom or maybe on the back of their no matter what activity pages. So on this same page that they circle the things, they're going to write out that verse. And then talk about each scenario on the page and ask the question, so how could we learn to be okay even if everything didn't get fixed the way that you wrote or drew it? So maybe they said here, oh, someone came along with a pump and helped him pump up his tire. Well, what if that didn't happen and he had to carry his bike home? Would that be okay? Or they might have said, I could go buy a new ice cream. Well, what if you didn't buy a new ice cream? Could you learn to be content with that? What else could happen? And this just continue as you talk through each scenario. And just remind your small group of some personal examples that were brought up at the very beginning. Could you learn to be okay when you don't win the game? Could you learn to be okay when you don't get the toy that you wanted at the store, or some other things that might bring them disappointment in their life? And then you just close by saying, so guys, our verse today is telling us that our life will not automatically be great by having more things or changing what we think could be better. And thankfully, we get to worship a God who cares about our needs so that we can always talk to him about what's going on in our world. So aren't you glad that God can help you be okay no matter what? Super cool. So you have some optional small group discussion questions that just talk about being content and how is a person content, what does contentment mean? So maybe you could talk about those with your group if you wanted to bring a snack to share with them, or as you pass a ball around to each other, or maybe while you're coloring in the rest of this page. And then you're going to just close down in prayer. So you're going to ask your small group to think of their examples from earlier of things that make them feel disappointed, and just encourage them to praise God for helping us to be okay even when those things happen. And just give your small group a minute to pray silently, and then just close down with the prayer below. And as adults arrive, make sure that kids take home their no matter what page and have them share those scenarios and tell their parents that God can help them be okay no matter what. And then just again, make sure that each kid takes home one of these parent resource packets. So that's it for this week, guys. Thank you so much for being the most amazing small group leaders. I know sometimes it gets crazy, but you are just pouring into these kids week after week, building relationships with them over time. You are the heart and soul of our kids ministry. This is what it's all about, just building relationships with kids and showing them what it's like, what God's love is like. So just thank you guys so much for leading, and have a great week. We'll see you on Sunday.